Hi there, welcome to the Healing
Now,
Nest.
I understand that we all are familiar with the term grief, and even sadly for some, the experience of it. But I believe for as long as we're humans, we might have lost a thing that's important, a thing or two that's been important to us outside of human beings, to goals and visions that we had to let go of to become these versions of ourselves. That is still, going through grief. And I understand that it's a very universal human experience, but at the same time, it has proven itself to be something that can be quite personal and isolating. Isolating in the sense that a million of people could be speaking about grief, about pain, about loss, but you would still feel like you can't relate to it simply because it's not tailored to your pain, simply because it doesn't really spell out what you're going through, and because of that, you feel disconnected from these messages, right? I'm here today not offering something better, because I'm not here offering my own grief that I feel is same with you, or to tell you that I understand your pain, because it's not even a competition. We're not comparing pain here, but it's just a thing of making you understand that you're sane and you're not alone. Oftentimes, grief comes with just shock. It puts one in a state of unbelief, because like me, for instance, I lost my father in the year 2021, and for the love of God, I couldn't bring myself to believe that reality. Because what do you mean? Somebody that was very present, somebody I could touch, somebody I could see, all of a sudden I don't have them in my life anymore. What that doesn't even make sense. Like, what are you trying to tell me? It's something that makes you feel like life is a stimulation or a virtual reality, something very unreal, just like a rude dream that one needs to wake up from. I used to think that I could just walk downstairs, come see him, talk with him, but still very much around. But unfortunately, it has happened, right? And we have a tribute, like we've written tributes down in a program, like the burials program, and I never went through it because, like I said, I was in denial. So this year, 2026, I came across it and I went through it. And I didn't just read my own tributes, but I went through my other siblings' tributes and other persons. And I've seen how it's, yes, one person, but I've seen how we've all experienced it differently. And because of that, everybody's grieving differently. But at the same time, it showed me how unique each person feels. Like, it shows that it's okay. There's no blueprint to how a person is meant to grieve over the loss of a loved one, or the loss of a thing that is so dear to them, because only them understand to what degree they have lost that thing or that person. And there's a friend that I was privileged to go see who lost her mom, and I saw how she was being reprimanded for expressing her grief, just crying, and all of a sudden it's like, are you the only one that is going through this? Are you the only person that lost a mom? And I'm like, how is this a fair thing to say to a person that is grieving? I guess I get we are all going through pain and it feels like she's doing too much, but kudos for you for being strong. Allow the person that can't be strong not be strong. It's okay. But what that moment taught me is that of being grateful, because I thanked God and still thank God for my family. Just in that moment, I realized how I was privileged and given the opportunity to be able to express myself the way I could when we lost our dad. But I was the person that denied myself that expression. I bottled up so much. I didn't permit myself to feel. I felt I needed to be strong for others around me, right? And that made me delay my healing progress. And when the time felt right, now, okay, everybody's doing better, I can feel these things. At the same time, there was a halting to that, because, okay, everybody's fine now. If you start it now, it's like attention seeking. Why are you just talking? Why are you going through it now? It doesn't make sense. So I bottled it up until it couldn't be bottled any longer, and it broke out, and it broke me, and it's just a long story. But at the end of the day, I've learned lessons. Lessons that mean that people should be permitted to feel things how they feel. So far as they're not hurting you, if it looks like they're doing too much, what you're meant to be doing in that moment is being compassionate towards them. Sadly, in the world, right, as a whole, I see how instead of being persons that extend empathy to one another, we've come to practice apathy, where a news headline could come on about speaking about persons dying, properties burning down, and yes, some of us take a minute or two to feel bad, to feel pierced at heart, but it's only for a little while, and then we go back to being normal. And it's so sad because those things is because the reason it's like that is because it's not happening to us. We feel untouched. Oh, sorry. But do we really sit down and think somebody died? Somebody with a family, somebody with a life, just like me, dreams, ambition, a young man, a young lady, a child died. Like, this I could do is say a prayer in that moment. This I could do is be human in that moment, wherever it is I am, even though I'm unable to reach them. I trust that my prayer would work. I trust that the Holy Spirit would extend comfort to that person because he truly is close to the brokenhearted. It's something that I've come to experience in my life. And thank God for his omnipresence. Because of that, I know from wherever I am, I could pray that prayer and trust that he that loves them more than I do is there with them in that moment. And it teaches me to now soften my heart and not harden it towards other things. But of course, there's still always a recalling to self from time to time because, yes, sometimes I still do treat those headlines as headlines and not that it has happened, like a tragic thing had happened somewhere. It's quite unfortunate. Likewise, persons close to us. You see a person going through things years down the line and you're like, are you still not over this? What do you mean? You don't know the depth to which they feel that loss. You don't know how it has altered their reality. You don't know how it has caused a shift in their lives, has changed them. This you could do is ask questions. Ask how you can be present with that person. Ask to understand. Ask to relate. But don't be quick to dismiss a person's pain simply because you are not experiencing it yourself or simply because you're not going through it. And then this is me talking to the persons that are not the ones experiencing the grief. And if you do go through such things and are able to shake it off quickly, like I said once again, kudos to you. Good one. You're doing great. But for those that can't be as strong as you, be the shoulder. Be the shoulder that they can cry on. Be the person that they can speak to listen. Be the heart that loves in that moment. Extend love. That's what we're called to do. Just love on them in those moments. And for you going through this, like I said, I'm not here to say that I understand your pain entirely, but I'm saying I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with pain. And trust me, when I feel. So I'm familiar with it. And I can understand how we can get lost in such moments, become shadows of ourselves. But please, it's okay for you to shake it off. It's okay for you to learn to, cope with it. Because the thing about it is you don't really also ever truly leave out of it, because sometimes reality can remind you. It's not something you're actively thinking on, but sometimes you could just be on your own and all of a sudden it's like pain is bringing to your attention something that you have lost. It could be a wholesome reel that you're watching and then you see how the whole idea of a family is now hurting you because you don't have one. You've lost your loved one, and then it's just quite painful to swallow down. But it's not because you're actively looking to remember those moments, but unfortunately you do. And it's okay. It's okay. In those moments, you should just remind yourself that it is okay to feel those things, but it also doesn't mean that automatically it takes you back to square one, or that you're not doing so well, or that you are not even progressing at all. No, that's not the case. Truth is, you're doing great. The fact that you're still sticking around, the fact that you're still trying, it shows that there's hope. And where there's hope, there's life. And this is not just to come as, like I said, motivation or anything, or just like I said, to an extent, it's just to get you to understand that you're not alone, that you're seen, that your life is important. Out of millions of persons, you're just as important, you're just as loved and cared for. And I hope that you push through. I hope that you're able to see to the end, to see how things can actually be beautiful and amazing for you. I hope for the best for you. I pray for peace. I pray for clarity through the pain. I pray for the courage and boldness to take steps, even as you're doing these things and going through life. And it's okay, even if other persons will not love on you in those moments, even if other persons will not understand you in those moments. Try to pull yourself out of that space. Just keep trying. Sometimes it feels like ritual. Sometimes it feels like just you doing a thing or two, but do it. Routines, develop them. Just do it until you get out of that space, until you're able to do the things you love again. I've seen persons, I'm a living testament, a testimony that God is good, right? My life is proof that I can heal, you can heal. I am still healing and I'm learning other things. And I've seen persons too who felt defeated at some point in time, becoming better versions of themselves, meaning it's possible. And when you ask them about this same area, you see that there's still pain. You see that it's still there, but it's not because we're holding on. Like I said, sometimes they're just rude reminders, harsh reminders, tough reminders, but it is okay. And I really hope that this blesses you, right? Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and please, and drop me my email. Please send me an email. Please, I beg. Yes, I know I'm begging for it, but it's really just so that I can. I mean, I do get messages here and there, but I really just want the community to relate. Want it to feel like I'm interacting with human beings and not robots, and also so that others will understand that they're not in this alone. So I look forward to hearing from you. And yes, stay blessed. This is the Healing Nest, and I love having you nesters with me. So bye for now. See you next time on the Healing Nest. I love you all.